they created all these things. Or Iran, one young woman died. Oh, they exposed like this. How many women in Palestine died in Gaza? Do they do the same thing? They started in Indonesia with the so-called Xinjiang genocide, and all these Muslim again, so easily being manipulated by use this Islam thing. The U.S. never loved Islam. Look, we've been victimized by these foreigners, this outside power. They're still doing it.
Media Mondo.
So, good afternoon. Saut Situmorang here in Yogyakarta. From Media Mondo. We would like to have a discussion with you about geopolitics, about Indonesia. You're a poet, a writer, but you also have strong political opinion, I think. You're not very positive about the recent election. Can you maybe share with us how you view the political system in Indonesia?
Okay, thank you, Media Mondo. Good afternoon from Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Talking about the so-called public election first. In Indonesia, we call it golongan putih. It means that people who refuse to vote. So I've been part of this movement since 1992.
You don't vote, you mean?
Yes, I don't vote. Until today. This movement, the function of this movement is to show that we don't accept the system, especially the voting system.
This happened in
1970s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the 70s during the Suharto's time. It is considered very illegal, subversive, and etc. Today is different because the so-called this new Indonesia, this reform Indonesia, it becomes like a fun thing to do for these new generations. It's fun because it's like an experiment to them. There are two kinds of these golput people. The first one, like me, who really we don't even go to the voting booth. The other one, this is the fun one. They go there, they do the thing, but they vote like 5 political parties, or sometimes they even draw. The last one they draw the flag of the Indonesian Communist Party. It's fun. It's fun. So you see there are two groups in this golongan putih group in Indonesia.
So even after the fall of Suharto, because I can understand under a dictatorship and then you ask to vote, it's like a show. But then after the Reformasi, the time after Suharto, you still never got the confidence that it has any purpose to vote.
No. Because they're basically the same kind of people. Same kind of people from the same parties, and also from the same class of people. They are rich people, what nowadays they call the oligarchy. People who have huge businesses. Even Jokowi, he's a businessman. And besides that, like I said, it's the old party is still there, like Golkar.
Golkar is from Suharto.
Suharto's time, it is basically created by Suharto to suppress all other political parties during his time. So and like this new one, the so-called Partai Buruh, the Labour Party, is also full of the same kind of people, even though they call themselves Labour and young guys from the young generation. But the mentality, this corrupt mentality is still there. And I mean, you have to change the electoral system. What they have in New Zealand, I think, is good. In New Zealand, small political parties, they can win by the voting in the area where they come from. For instance, like this small party from my area, Batak land, it will win because the Batak supporters will vote for this party, and that vote will be counted.
So your complaint is that small parties have no chance here. It's only choose between, like, in this recent election, it was like 3 choices that people could make.
Yeah. And it's basically in imitations of what happened in the United States of America, right? 2 parties ruling, and they call it democracy. The last election, the enemies, and this election suddenly they become like husband and wife, and so it's up to them. They can change, So there is no meaning of this so-called democracy, direct democracy, because they can just choose sides,
So I have to say, like, I'm not following Indonesian politics maybe as you living here, but for me, when was it that Jokowi became the president? I think 2014. For many people, he may have looked like promising because he appeared to be like a regular guy. But what was your thought about him from the beginning?
I was one of very few who actually against him. I remember this thing. There is this Facebook page. It actually belongs to, can you guess it? Sting from the police. Yeah? And suddenly this page becomes like a propaganda page for Jokowi at the time, And I was really angry. I joined there and I said, look, you are a foreigner, and you have like huge reputation. What are you doing? You interfering in our internal political things, The followers of that page, like millions of Indonesians, they attack me. They call me all kind of names,
Why? Can you explain it more about what was this about then? What was the name of the page again?
Sting, the singer from the police.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was so mad. What are you doing?
And what did he do then?
No, it's like this thing like vote for Jokowi. This is not just unethical. It's immoral. Who are you? And since then, all of his song album, I took out. I used to love the police, when I was in high school. So this is really a big disappointment for me. And then after Jokowi became president, but the second time he was elected as president, and people started to to realize who this guy is really. In that page, I checked that thing about Jokowi is gone.
They remove it.
Yes, they remove it. Yeah, but I wrote that. Sting, I will never forget you. Hopefully we never meet, because one day if we meet.
And do you think it's just an individual like Sting, or do you believe that maybe there is something behind him that's encouraged him?
I'm sure this is a huge, call me conspiracy or whatever, but this is huge thing. Because Jokowi is unknown, is no one. Suddenly, because this thing, when he was a mayor of Solo is a small town, it's over there, and suddenly he becomes like a superstar because there is this heavy metal concert in Solo, and Jokowi is there. It's sort of like giving support, and the media, expose him, sort of like this is a new face of Indonesian leaders, and all these young kids too. From then, suddenly he, the elections of the Jakarta governor, and he was all these things, it is not natural.
You suspect there is a bigger hand behind.
Yes. And then big magazine like Tempo, is involved. Like for the presidential campaign, they put Jokowi in the cover. The cover is like he's the great Javanese savior for Indonesian people. And now even the owner of Tempo, Gunawan Muhammad, cried on television. Oh, I was so disappointed with Jokowi. He said, hey, what's this?
So Gunawan Muhammad is disappointed that now he's going away. He's leaving.
Because Jokowi is no longer going to be president. He cannot be for the third time. He can't, right?
But his son will be the vice president, so...
Yeah, but who cares about the son? But I mean, Jokowi, you see this thing, people who supported Jokowi for 2 periods, Jokowi is like an idol for them. Suddenly, now, like this election, the previous election, so like they so disappointed with Jokowi. They created all this whatever about Jokowi. I was like, what happened?
Yeah.
And they changed. So these people are people who have self-interest in this election. They don't really care about politics, about democracy, about Indonesia. And they say Jokowi is not going to be useful. Check him out. And now, at the time, it's Ganjar, the former governor of Central Java. Young, rich Javanese again, justice. When Ganjar lost to the general, everybody suddenly loved democracy, loved human rights.
Ganjar is one of the other candidates, right?
Yeah, it's from Jokowi's political party, the Democratic Party. Yeah?
But he lost now.
He lost, yeah. He lost. And Prabowo, the general one. Yeah? And everybody these former Jokowi supporters who during Jokowi's term rule, they never really cared about what happened to the people, all this corruption. Suddenly they talk about human rights, all these things.
Now, you mean now?
Yeah,
because now they're not happy with Prabowo.
Yeah, because Ganjar did not win. They wanted Ganjar to win so that they can also get out of his rule, right? Like what they got from Jokowi's rule. Okay?
Can I ask you, because I think for people, let's say for the Netherlands, it's difficult for us to understand. Like, we can understand that Prabowo looks more similar to his ex-father-in-law, Suharto, and that Jokowi seems to be different from a different kind of political group. But is there any difference? Do you see, are they opponents or are they somehow also from the same, is it the same, can you explain a little bit about the...
Yeah. Jokowi belongs to the party, Megawati's party, right? The Democratic Party. But remember, when Megawati was president, she did that thing in Aceh, genocide in Aceh, yeah? And also in Papua. What's the difference from Prabowo, yeah? Prabowo only been accused during that time, 1998, that he did all these things, yeah? But Megawati really did it in Aceh. Yeah? How many hundreds of thousands of Acehnese people died? They call it the DOM, military zone in Aceh. Yeah? So, and Papua too. They forget this thing of Megawati. Yeah? This is Jokowi's party. Jokowi belongs to it.
So what you're saying is that they have their image seems to be in general better, but it's not deserved. They are doing the same.
They don't have better image. Yeah. Suharto did that for 32 years in power. Megawati, what? Only 1 year in power. She did all that. So you can see this thing. But why this so-called human rights lover or the democracy lover, they sort of like forget it.
And she's not popular. She's not popular at all.
But it's her party. Yeah? It's her party. Her party involved in that. Yeah. And Jokowi belongs to that party. Yeah. So now they try to separate Jokowi from the party. Yeah. You see this trick? Uh-huh. And when they don't like Jokowi, you only belong to it. This is complicated. It's typical Indonesian bullshit. Yeah? That's the way they do it. That's how politics here. So you don't have to understand it. This is just bullshit. Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the way. And I remember the previous two elections, because Prabowo also one of the candidates, right? They created all kinds of they wrote articles, news. Even one American journalist called Tom Nain or something, wrote these things. It's like scare things about what will happen if Prabowo becomes president. Whoa, everybody! You see, it's like, and now suddenly even Jokowi chose Prabowo. Where's Tom Nain? Where's that thing, democracy now? I mean, in America, see. We've been victimized by these foreigners, this outside power, since 1950s. Yeah, the CIA with the colonial revolution in Sumatra and in Sulawesi. Yeah, but they got exposed. And now 1965. Yeah, they're still doing it. But people start to forget it. But it's only our problem. No, it's not our problem.
Let's talk about that more, because you just mentioned an occasion that Sting, the famous singer, did something and backed up Jokowi. So do you think that Jokowi, because that's what I'm trying to see, like in this, is the United States and the West, are they pro-Jokowi, you think? Are they backing him up? Are they behind him? Do they like it?
Jokowi was on the Time magazine's cover. It's like New Hope. And his title is a New Hope. I'll say, hey, that's your New Hope, Jokowi. New hope for them. Yeah. But this is cliche, always like that. That's why I said I don't believe in the so-called democracy here or public election here. No. It's nothing like that.
I think that the United States doesn't really care who is doing it. If Jokowi can do it, Prabowo can do it, they're fine, right? It doesn't really matter who.
Yeah. It's just when you useful, okay. It's like Suharto, useful, okay. After 30 years, not useful anymore. Check it out. Huh?
You think they're also behind when Suharto was falling down from power in 1998? They're behind?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the U.S. Embassy helps the so-called activists in Jakarta, including Gunan Muhammad, with technology. I was living in New Zealand then, but how come in Indonesia they can have this amazing internet and online media? And then after the so-called reformasi, it's exposed actually Gunan Muhammad got all these awesome technologies from the U.S. Embassy. It's always like that, man.
So there's nothing new under the sun, you say?
Yeah. But I think it's just the people should make change themselves. Not this so-called elite. It's just robbers. All these thieves. Yeah, they are criminals. Yeah, but the people. Problem is the people. You see, after 32 years of Suharto, the people they don't have self-confidence. Yeah, and the so-called activists too. I don't know what they're doing. The NGOs. I don't know.
Are they? Do you think that they can be used? Maybe they don't know, but they can be used, like you saying that this about Gunawan Muhammad, that he's sort of used even by CIA. But are these activist groups that were so pro-Jokowi before and now are crying about Prabowo being in power? Is it dangerous that they are that they may be used by United States?
Yeah, I believe in that too. Yeah. It's experience from Mossadegh in Iran is just like that. So-called student movement, Jakarta to 1965, student movement, 1998. Look at those student leaders now. Look at them. Huh? They work with the generals. Come on, it's a shameful history. Yeah.
So not very positive.
I'm not very positive about politics in this country. Yeah. Political parties, I'm not. Yeah.
So
but I'm very positive with the people. With the food, with their life, I'm positive. These parasites, these criminals, and they're still in power, and they're destroying. I mean, like there is this thing in Jakarta. They call it the Kamisan every Tuesday. Kamis Tuesday, right? It's started by the mother of one of the student victims of 98, Bu Maria something. It's already there for 15 years? Yeah. She's been doing it directly in front of Jokowi's palace. Yeah. Jokowi never invited her.
And she's doing what?
This demo every Thursday in Jakarta.
In protest of
this impunity of these journalists who are anti-today are not being tried, for the killing of students, 1998, the 3 Sakti students especially. And one of the victims was her son, Bu Maria. And this event, this Kamisan thing, happening in front of Jokowi's palace. I was there once in Jokowi, just in her car, boom, boom,
passing them.
Just looking from the window. That's how good, probably. Yeah. That's your president, Jokowi, the democracy one. And this mother, Bu Maria, has been doing that for 15 years. At least he could invite her.
Yeah. So you were very early to already, you were already critical of him, but not so many. So people were still
I just don't trust. The only politician I trust in Indonesian history is Gus Dur, the blind president, Abdurrahman Wahid. But he's not a politician, he's a leader. I came back from New Zealand. I decided to return to Indonesia after 11 years because of Gus Dur. Gus Dur became the president, and I trusted the guy. I believe this guy would change Indonesia.
But he was not so long, right?
Yeah, because they coup d'etat him. They couped him. Starting from, he's a blind man. A blind man cannot rule, cannot be a leader, and they create all these scandals about him.
Was he the first after Suharto, or when?
No. Yeah. After Suharto is the vice president Habibie, and there's elections. Gus Dur, Gus Dur won, and coup d'etat, and all the powers, including the media, including Tempo, attacked him. Nobody defended him. This elite, including Megawati as the vice president. So when Gus Dur finally, Megawati willingly accepted to replace him as president, instead of saying, let's have an election. You see that kind of mentality? So don't talk to me about politics. This corrupt mentality is inherited and now passing down to the younger generation.
So you're basically saying that there's only hope when there's like a regime change and a really different kind of, everything has to be...
Yes. If you call it revolution, probably not bloody revolutions. The revolution in the whole, seriously, the election system should be changed because it's really corrupt, and they imitate everything made in USA. That's really sad. This country, nearly 100 years independent, but still they slave mentality. But if you look at them, wow, they look like they rule this world,
You mean the politicians?
Look at their style, their lifestyle, their attitude, but they're slave of the U.S., slave of European countries like England, whatever. Yeah.
I got your point that you see that there is still so much influence from the West and the United States, but there's also China. And I thought, you see also that there is some competition going on between the US and China, right? And also Russia maybe. But how do you see that? How wise somebody like Jokowi and now coming up Prabowo, how is their position? Are they playing them out against each other? Or do you think they're still more loyal to the United States and the West? Or what is your...
You mean these people called Jokowi or Prabowo play China against... They're not that brilliant. They're dumb. They just sleep. I am with China. We're Asian. And China never actually did anything bad with Indonesia, even in our past history. And they've been living here for centuries. And I love their food and their movies. But I'm with China. No, bloody US. No way. We have bad experience with them. We have bad experience with Western power. It's like that's colonialism, right? China is not. China is also like us. It's a former third world countries, and they succeeded to change themselves. We must imitate China. Look at this. They started in Indonesia with the so-called Xinjiang genocide, and all these Muslims again, fellow friends, fellow citizens of Indonesia, so easily being manipulated by use this Islam thing. The U.S. never loved Islam. Look, all this Islamic country that they destroyed, Afghanistan, Iraq, now Syria, Libya, and all those people that they imprisoned at Guantanamo is Islam, Muslim people. But this Indonesia, they believe this propaganda about Xinjiang. American love Muslim. It's crazy. But this is what happened. And the so-called elite of this too, Islam elite, they play again with this thing, because they got something. Except, of course, the left-leaning Muslim leaders from some from the NU, Nahdlatul Ulama organization. Yeah, but I mean, basically, the groups here actually, I'm sure, supported by the U.S. There's a group, part of Gunor Muhammad's huge organization. It's called the Liberal Islam Network. Yeah, it's paid by the U.S. Yeah, and they sort of like giving the voice of liberal Islam to Indonesia. What the fuck is liberal Islam? Islam is Islam. It's not liberal Islam. And this and now this group is dead now. Yeah. The U.S. don't pay them anymore, and when one of the leaders suddenly become reform, no more liberal anymore. It becomes back to NU.
Yeah. But can the U.S., I mean, they pretend to, they maybe sometimes support groups, also Muslim groups, while in fact you rightly say that they are Islamophobia to the core. But so you say that they also use whatever groups in their advantage and then pretend to actually be pro-Muslim, but you say that, yeah, it's it seems, yeah.
In issues like Xinjiang, or they created all these things, or Iran, one young woman died, or they exposed like this, How many women in Palestine died in Gaza? Do they do the same thing? And do this local Muslim do this thing? The difference, the contrast, And Biden kept sending help, billions of dollars, money, weapons, whatever. Look, this contrast is too much. And of course, I mean, I'm sure students who get scholarship to the States, they don't get scholarship for nothing. Yeah? It's been a tradition since the time of Suharto, all these things. Yeah. So this kind of problems in Indonesia. It's not just political parties, even the civilian, the elite. It's like that. And if not, it's easy to kick out this political party. But this is elite, the civilian elite. They also involved in that. Probably they're worse than the political parties. Because they're not visible. Yeah, they do it. NGOs also like that. This country is broken. Yeah? It's wounded. Yeah.
And still being ruled by the powers from outside. Still, I want to talk to you more about, let's say, the influence of China. You're saying that China is not the same way as the West colonized the world, but then can you reflect on, like, because
China, I think, is a good counter influence.
Yeah, but then I ask you, is Jokowi also? He's also doing business with China a lot, and maybe the West doesn't like that. Do you think that there is some, let's say, some friction between what China is doing here and then the United States also wanting to do things here? Is it possible that there will be like a clash of these two big forces, and that Indonesia is the playground of this clash? Is there?
Yeah. I'm sure it will happen. Yeah, because the United States, they try to keep the status quo, right? They rule these Asia Pacific things, But like you see the trends now, people now said that we've got enough of you, right? Like from the creations of BRICS, the economic organization, it's just good. Yeah? You can see these trends, especially like in Africa, where they have this revolution, and there is this. It's interesting because these military leaders who did all this revolution in Africa has actually graduated from West Point in the States. Hello, America. And now they kick out French. They started. It's good. And I wish that thing happened in Indonesia too. These young colonels, young generals in Indonesia, started, they learned everything from West Point or whatever point in America.
But you see, you don't.
States. That's good one. Yeah.
But you don't see that happening right now.
It hasn't happened yet, but hopefully happen, because you see the trend. 3 countries in Africa doing that, and it's level of, it's not generals, it's colonels. And Indonesia, there are many graduates of America, the army or the navy.
How is Prabowo's connection with the United States? How is he pro?
Since his father. His father was actually one of the leaders of the colonial rebellion in Sumatra. He's kept in the United States, right? And after Suharto got power, he came back and he started this, what we call it, the Berkeley Mafia. You know, all these economies that was trained Universitas Indonesia in Jakarta and sent to the States. Basically his students, yeah.
So it will probably not Prabowo who is going to be like you was giving the example of the African nations that are revolting. You don't expect him to do.
Prabowo. No, not Prabowo. Okay. But I mean, military leaders who are unknown now, you know, and hopefully, I really hope, because Indonesian people need strong leader, yeah. Not civilians. Civilian you can trust. You cannot trust civilian in Indonesia. Since Sukarno, you see, the civilian actually destroyed this country. But army, I mean, not because my father was in the army, yeah. But I mean, in the army you see the discipline of the army, yeah. And this thing, it's very clear for them, black and white, not like the civilian elite. Yeah? And I hope, I really hope, you know. But the one like in Africa or the one like Savas, yeah. Savas too is an army, yeah. But because these people, they're clear about what they want to do, you know? And they don't belong to political parties.
But then they need to think differently and not so pro-colonial as is now still.
Yeah. I said hopefully this trend is become a global trend, because in Africa, it's like global African trend, yeah. And these are army leaders, and they're graduate of America too, yeah.
So it's blowing up in their own face, you can say.
Yes. I really, I have to admit it. I really hope that these young leaders, military leaders of Indonesia, kick Prabowo out. You know, it's useless anyway. Yeah? And then change Indonesia, because I believe it's only they who can do that, not the political parties, not these politicians. They're useless. It's complicated, this country, you see. I mean, like, majority is Javanese. And you see, Javanese culture basically very different from us, from most of us. The feudalistic element of that culture is very different from us, yeah.
From us, then you mean?
Non-Javanese. Sumatra, Kalimantan, or Sulawesi, different. There are, of course, feudalism in Sumatra, but very different from Javanese feudalism, yeah. And you see in Indonesia, they already have this myth that only Javanese can be president of Indonesia. Why? Why only Javanese? You see, from Sukarno, there was president until today, Javanese. Indonesia is, fucked up. You know?
So Prabowo is also Java?
Javanese, yeah, from Solo. Yeah? And you see only one non-Javanese, Habibie, yeah, the vice president of Suharto. You know? He became president. You see what he did? He made East Timor free, independent. Yeah, he did lots of things, good things. And then after that, he refused to continue. After his term finished, he finished. He's not crazy about power. You see, it's only one, non-Japanese. From these oceans of Japanese so-called leaders. Yeah. So that's one problem. If I say this, I'm a racist against Japanese. They say, up to them. Yeah. But this is the reality. And we have to say it, you know. Nobody dares to say it in public. They have to say it. This is Indonesian problem. Yeah. Why all these things about this phobia about non-Javanese as leaders?
And why not, for example, Chinese then?
Yeah, Chinese. Yeah. What? Yeah.
But that's also, I think, on one hand, you see that the influence of China is, of course, because of the businesses that are being done here, there is increasing. But the other hand is that because of the past, there is, I think, among Indonesians, there is also a friction with the Chinese minority. How do you see that, working out?
Minority in this country. My people is minority. Yeah, if you check the number, no. Yeah, this is also myth. It's from the new order Chinese minority. They're not minority.
Because they're a large group.
Yeah, their numbers are large. Yeah, in the big cities, they're big in the big cities. Yeah. Me from Batak, in the whole planet, our population is less than 7 million. Come on. And this also this thing using this minority majority things. It's from the old the Suharto regime time. Yeah. Economically speaking, the Chinese, they're not minority. They're the most powerful, not just the big oligarch. Yeah, you go to the small towns in all of Indonesia, the rich people, the Chinese. Yeah, so we also have to talk about this. Forget about this. Yeah, but the fact is, there's Chinese everywhere in Indonesia. So we used to Chinese. We used to Chinese food. We used to Chinese movies from Hong Kong. Yeah, and also in our popular literature, we call it the cerita silat, the wuxia, the silat story. It's Chinese. Yeah? It's part of our culture, part of our daily life. So suddenly, because of the political status quo in the Asia Pacific is threatened by the emergence of China, the United States, the great Satan of the world, create again these things. China is this, that way. Nah. Even Islam in Java is spread by Chinese Muslim. Sumatra is from Arab and India, Gujarat. But Java is China.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's Cheng Ho, the great admirer of Ming Dynasty. Cheng Ho and stuff, yeah.
This was before the colonials came to Indonesia, right?
Before. It's after Majapahit kingdom. Yeah. It's in the 15th century.
Indonesia also has like several court cases via the WTO, the World Trade Organization, against the EU, the European Union, about, among others, about nickel, also about palm oil. And then it seems that Indonesia is taking the position that is not pleasing European Union. How do you see that? Is that, you're sort of not very confident about the current leaders and how they're dealing with things, but it seems that they're doing something that old colonial Europe does not really like.
It's the news this week about the huge corruption from the nickel mining. You know how much money is that? More than 100 trillion a year. The corruption, the nickel mining, just being exposed. I just can't believe this. Like what you said. Okay, they took the EU to the WTO for this. But it is like doing something to cover up lots of things. As if they care. Yeah. The nickel timing corruption, it is like one of the biggest corruption cases in Indonesia.
Yeah, I understand that's also very something that should be paid attention to. But let's look at a little bit from, like, zooming out a little bit. Like, how do you think that how to interpret in the way that Indonesia seems to be sort of more daring to do this against the EU. Maybe years ago they would not be so confrontational against the European Union, and the European Union just demands that Indonesia keeps exporting raw materials, and they don't want Indonesia to have like a refinery. And although, okay, there's apparently a huge corruption case going on, and it's also not fair, but how do you think that the relationship between the Europe and the countries Indonesia, it seems that it's, how do you see that?
Yeah, like I said earlier, for me it's just like a cosmetic. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, probably just changing of owner. It's like what happened in the Freeport. Yeah, but still there, still doing bad things to the locals, to the Papuan, to the Amangwe people. Yeah, it's changing owner, but nothing really changed. Yeah. Like I said, okay, they did this thing with the WTO about nickels. But look at this thing that's being exposed. This is corruption, So the nickel things, it's Indonesian, doing all these things. It's by doing what they did with WTO things. I don't see it any like what you read to it. Yeah? like they sort of like trying to stand up against. Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, they don't have the guts to do that. The problem is just, I'm just cosmetic politics. Yeah, to sort of like so that the media, reported about this thing, or they sort of like they care about, yeah. No.
So it looks like they come up with for Indonesia and for the Indonesian economy, but you think it's superficial in a way.
Yeah, it's been done before. So for me, nah, I don't believe it.
You don't believe that the European Union is angry about this?
It's just, for me, it's like the rhetorics of politicians, Yes, so yeah. What we really want to see is in the grassroots level. Do they really care? Look at the nickel minings, their policy towards this inside Indonesia, that's what counts. Yeah? Not what they do with the WTO or they for this, I don't care about that. Yeah? Not just nickels, like I said, the sawit things, palm, and like in my area, it's eucalyptus things, yeah, like destroying now the ecology, and now it affects to the Lake Toba water. It sort of like come down to and it's owned by one Chinese guy who's being, they accused of being, what do you call it, don't paying tax in Indonesia, yeah. But recently he just bought a huge castle in Germany, it's this kind of thing. You know what? This person actually paid a lot of money for Jokowi's presidential campaign.
Because you were emphasizing that it's still mostly the US, but then it's also Chinese oligarchy, or how to call it.
But it's local. I mean, it's not China. It's not Chinese China. They don't belong to China. Yeah, this is local. It's local people. Yeah. So it's basically this oligarch. They're just playing things like playing chess. Sometimes we sacrifice this for the sake of media, so that they think we're this. Yeah, but inside there's no change. No change. Yeah. But see what happened to the local indigenous people. That's what counts. Recently, the two local indigenous leaders being arrested by the police for nothing, arrested just because of these oligarchs. Tell the police because these people mobilized the indigenous people, the masyarakat adat, became movement to. This is serious. Yeah, in this level. Not in the WTA level. Yeah,
I want to ask you something. There was an article by somebody whose name is Kit Klarenberg at the Min Press News. I assume you know the website. And he was actually suggesting that the United States was preparing a color revolution for Indonesia. But my question is, do you think it's at this moment you're actually saying that they're quite cooperative? So is there any need for the US, you think, to organize a...
We have had it since 1965, color revolution. Yeah.
That's when leaders need to be replaced. But is there any need in the current situation? Are they? You're painting a picture that they're basically following the US, that they're not very daring, and that they're not against the US. So is there any? Are things not going as the United States is wanting it to be?
Yeah, no. Look, no. Replacing Jokowi is Prabowo. What's this? These two people basically American clique in Indonesia.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is there any need for them to replace anybody now? It doesn't seem like that, right?
To replace whom? The journalist probably should drink beer with me at Ascos.
But his point is that he was seeing something. He has did some research, and he saw that there's some. I agree with him. There might be still a lot of groups that are being supported, or as you also explained about the Gunawan Muhammad clique before. But my question is more: if everything is running as in the wishes of the United States, then why should they replace anyone?
Precisely. So that question should be asked to that journalist, that kid person. Yeah.
So in your opinion, again, maybe to close this, is that the current leadership, whether it is Jokowi, whether it is his son, whether it is Prabowo, they are still in line. They are still in line of the bigger powers in this world, and that is still mostly the United States and the West. That is
yes. Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
last question. What do you, because you're quite, I would say, so critical that you see that a lot of things need to change before you will have any hope on a better future. What is your expectation for Indonesia, and what could be happen in a positive way that
Like I said, I really hope that some colonels will rise up and do what his fellow colonels did in Africa. Yeah, I think that is our my millenarian hope. Yeah, to change, because I don't believe this structural change, all this. I've been hearing these things since Suharto's time. Change from within and all this, whatever this.
You don't believe in reform?
Reform by, like I said, these colonels or captains suddenly, pop up somewhere in Indonesia and take power and do like what been happening in Africa. And then that's when we start talking about change. Yeah. If not, it's just the same things. Just different terminology, different faces, but inside, still the same. Yeah.
Thank you.
Media Mondo.